You've got Paul from Sawadita.
Good deal. Welcome, my friend. For all my partners on this end, I've got Josh Pope, Gabe, Sonia, Bryce, Crystal, Jules, Paul Casertano, Dr. Richard Nassy, Carolyn Laurie, Jeanette Durin, Jamie. Anybody else I missed from my team members on this end?
Hyunsu.
Sue, fantastic. Thank you for joining. Okay.
Looks like you have Patricia Pablo in the room as well.
Thanks, Paul.
Yes, good morning. Good morning,
apologies.
everybody. I just now joined.
Fantastic. Welcome, Patricia. Okay, Crystal, if you can go to the in-kind reporting. Before I go, is there anybody I missed? Perfect, and thank you. In-kind reporting. Okay, regional planning efforts are enhanced by recording time donated by the attendees, volunteers, and participants. PAG collects data on the time dedicated to meetings and activities, and we're able to apply for use as matching funds for grants and federal dollars. If you are paid with federal dollars, please let us know now. Okay, hearing none. Time spent in preparation for this meeting will be estimated by the PAG staff knowledgeable of the agenda and meeting materials. And at the conclusion, the session report will automatically calculate time spent so we can take credit for in-kind match. Time spent working on PAG RTA initiatives, programs, and special projects may also be eligible for consideration of these matching funds. Okay. PAG safety activities. Gabe, saw you're on. So my friend, you're up. What do you got? What do you know? And walk us through the safety efforts you got going to date.
Sure, no problem. I'll try and keep it brief. Good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody. Starting off with the road safety assessment efforts and activities, we've done some initial work at Congress and Grande at the request of the city of Tucson. We're going to be starting there in earnest in less than 3 weeks for a full RSA. So we're looking forward to that. But like I said, Richard and I have already done some initial field work out there just to get a look at what it was like more during the summer when the application came in. 2 weeks ago, we completed the field work, so to speak, for the virtual design RSA for Grant Road phases 5 and 6. We did some field work for that, which was a little too exciting. So if you want to know more about that, you can ask me offline. Yeah, it was successful. We worked with Somas. They were the design team, and they did a fantastic job. And it was great to have them helping us out with that. After Congress Grande, we already have on the docket, we have Western Way, which is from Pima County. So that's west of the Tucson Mountains. We're going to be taking a look out there. And then at some point, probably December or January-ish, depending on when it gets done, we're going to be taking a look at another design RSA for the Grant UP effort near I-10. So just as a reminder to everybody, it's a free service that we perform for all of our member jurisdictions. We're happy to do it. And yeah, if you have any areas you want us to take a look at, or even any questions that you want to start entertaining to see if maybe you should or shouldn't apply for an RSA, please let myself or Rick know. We're always happy to help out.
This is definitely tailored to whatever you need. So there is no size too small. I mean, Gabe, you've probably, from what you've described on some of the past ones, you and Richard have gone out on an afternoon just to look at stuff and get eyes on the site. So we can do the big capital projects. We can do the little smallest, easiest. It does not matter. Gabe, I'm hoping I'm not stepping out of line on that by volunteering you up. But if you've got a concern in the safety arena, by all means, give a call.
No, by all means, that's the idea, please. Does anybody have any questions on RSAs, any of the ones that we've just performed or the ones that are coming up?
I don't have a question about that, but quick, while there's a little gap, Rick, Dion just texted me and says she has no audio capabilities and there's no dial-in number, so she's not really hearing it.
Yeah, we just sent her an email and provided her the information.
Thank you.
So Jay, you did that to get her so she can do dial in or something?
Right, correct.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
Gabe, could you give us a little update on where the state is with their RSA program. I know there was some consideration of potentially scaling back the ADOT program that has been running for years, and I lost sight of that. I'm not quite sure where they are in that process and whether they're retiring the statewide RSA program or continuing to fund that through HSIP.
I've kind of lost sight of it too, and so maybe maybe Jay could provide some help on that. My understanding is that they're still running the program. I think it might be scaled back somewhat. I know that they had put it through. They were running it through Tismo, I believe. And again, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if it's still there or if it's, but I think it's still going. I just don't think it's. I don't think we've done a lot down here that I know of.
Right. Yeah, no, the program's still going. It's available upon request. I mean, you can either go through me or you can go through Carrie. We basically just scaled back the consultant-led RSAs because they were costing too much. So we've been doing a lot more what we call internal RSAs, just using internal staff. And obviously the locals and the local law enforcement agencies. But yeah, no, we're still doing them. And so, yeah, if you have a location you'd like to do, let us know.
So Jay, I remember that back before you guys had more of a consultant-driven model, you had it also in-house, and it was Mike Blankenship who headed up that the RSA efforts around the state. Is there a single person, a point of contact for that besides Carrie? Is someone in particular leading the RSA effort like Mike was back in the day?
It would be Carrie.
Carrie, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, Saroja helps out. I think this past year or year and a half, obviously because of the pandemic that we've been going through, the outreach hasn't been as heavy, but we did our last round of RSAs internally using our network screening results. Mm-hmm. And actually, I reached out to Blake and City of Tucson because there were a few along I-10 that we did, and I wanted to bring them in to check those out. Didn't really think about bringing this group in. I probably should have gone that direction, but didn't. So, but yeah, still going. Like I said, it's more driven by the network screening than anything. But yeah, if there are others, we can talk about them.
Great. Well, I know that in the past, when ADOT was doing an RSA down here since 2011, anyway, since the inception of our program, we've definitely been involved, and we'd be happy to be involved in the future. So, unless there's any more questions or discussion on the RSA program.
Thank you.
Moving on to the update on the PAG Safety Explorer. As you all well know, the PAG Safety Explorer is our network screening tool. It's a crash data analysis platform, among many other things. We've been working to update the Explorer for the past while, and we've made some really good efforts as of late. So we kind of wanted to tease that a little bit with you today, just to give you an idea of some of the technical work that's been done to improve the platform and add functionality to make an even more robust analytical platform. And with that, I'm going to try and turn it over to Josh.
Yes. Excuse me. Good morning, everyone. This is something that kind of came up yesterday afternoon. Crystal, is there any way I could share my screen?
Yeah, let me get that for you. Just a second.
Thanks. Sorry about that. We didn't really prep you on this. We have made some updates that have been kind of waiting in the wings for a little bit. And we just wanted to do a real quick demo of what work had been put into it, and then how we're looking at making that available. So just let me know when I should give that a shot, Crystal.
You should be good now.
Okay, cool. Screen 2. Okay, is everybody, nope, not yet. Okay, does everybody see this?
Yep,
came up.
got it.
Sweet. So this is the environment that you see when you land on the Safety Explorer page. We're adding some additional capability. So the new platform that we're in beta now and rolling out some of the functionality has this additional kind of panel down the middle. You know, you're going to be able to kind of do your custom stuff analysis as you look into the functionality that you're used to in the charting space. And that's identified through this icon here with the bar chart. So you can filter charts. What we've done is we kind of treated this side of the interface as a panel that we can kind of swap out with different data. So we've also stepped into exploring the charting is that BI interface that was kind of the bulk of what was previously available. We have SPF, a way to kind of engage in the SPF data through their scatter plots, and then also being able to pull in content from the legend, the tabular data underlying the map layers exposed. So on the safety, on the SPFs, so we go and we select the SPFs, and what I meant to do was clear chart features, and then go into the SPFs. So I don't know if you can kind of tell this is how I'm kind of controlling and changing what's displayed on the right panel. I'll go and select the 4-leg signalized intersection. What you see here are the drop down of the different SPF types that we had to build out, that we built out for the region. And so you're able to select these different scatter plot points that has an interface with the map components. And then what we've added are these hamburgers of additional functionality. So you can either clear the selections or apply those selections to the charts, right? So that's going to then take these selected features from that scatter plot and then go give you that subset. So you can kind of do that deeper dive in the charting interface. So let's go ahead and clear that. So that was a piece that we wanted to bring out, is kind of exposing that the LOSS data that we've displayed on the map and we've used in our analysis in the reporting, but kind of giving you more hands-on access to that data through those scatter plots as they're often displayed. The tabular view of this pane on the right here, by clicking that thing that looks like a table, allows you to get access to any of the underlying data of any of the map layers exposed, as is, you know, most folks might be accustomed to with the GIS or web mapping components. So right now, what we have out of the gate loaded are the SPFs. So this is just, instead of the scatter plot, this is that tabular view of what went into building out that SPF. So if we are interested in then working with that data a little bit more, we can kind of go in, and this hamburger has a little more going on. And so we're going to build out a filter right now. So you can, if you're interested in looking at the major volume for that intersection being greater than 40,000, you see, before I hit enter on this, you can see that there's 604 intersections that are part of the SPF, both 3-leg and 4-leg intersections. So if we're going to be wanting to look at this, one of these attributes, major AADT for the intersections, we can go and look at over 40,000, and we see that we've gone down to 62 from the 600 features. If we want to go and change that to refine it a little bit more, you get the point here. You can take it down to 45,000, take it up to 45,000 volumes, and get that reduction down to 19 intersections. And so part of what, and as you would expect with a table, you're allowed to interact with it, select it. If you wanted to kind of focus in, I kind of jumped to that. say you are looking at the 45,000 major volume, approach volume intersections, and you wanted to kind of focus in on this area, I did a sort on the intersection name, and it gives me kind of lines up the Valencia ones that are all in a row there. And so these all have higher Valencias having that or over 45K approach volumes. What you can do there is also apply those, update the charts with those intersections, just like we did previously. And so as you're doing this, it's going to ask you, do you want to update the charts with the selected features, the ones that are highlighted right now, or the filtered features? So do you want it to be the 19 or the 6? So let's just go with the filtered. What that's going to do is going to take you back into the charting panel and produce that subset of incidents, those 1,175 incidents associated with those intersections, and you can kind of dig in a little bit deeper. The other thing that you can do, and it's going to still retain that selection as you go back in, is then you can then turn that into a project. If you're like, okay, this is something that I want to move forward, I want to look at it as a an RSA or something that I want to pay attention to year over year, you can then step through that create project interface. So we're incorporating, so this allows you not to just have to draw every component, but use some of the data that we're bringing to the table through the legend. You can, by creating the report, that'll ask you to give it the name. And then it'll step through, build out that PM report, build out that safety report, that existing functionality that exists within Safety Explorer, and finish saving the report. I can go up to the saved projects. This is the PM, the safety report that's going to show up for all of those. It's my to-do list. That's our to-do list on it. So it gives you that PM report out of the gate on all that stuff for those 6 new project from table. If we search from table, spell it right, we can see this here. And so you see it in your sandbox, and you can go and retrieve that. You get your facility PM report, your safety, and your severe report available. So just a quick highlight of some of the capabilities that we're doing, that were implemented. We're going to be reaching out to a subset of colleagues and just getting some input, and then we'll have a broader rollout in preparation for the upcoming HSIP process. So with that, I think that's the main thing I wanted to share with you all.
Thanks, Josh. And that's a really good segue into my next segment, unless anybody has any questions for Josh or me on the SAP Explorer.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks all.
Good deal. Thanks, gents.
Yep.
Thanks.
How do I stop sharing? There we go.
You know, I ask myself that question all the time, Josh. How do I just stop sharing?
How do you get me to stop sharing? Yeah.
Hey,
How do you pull back the mic?
Josh and Gabe, this is Jay. I was wondering, have you spoke to Saroja about this program?
Saroja's aware of it, yeah. But it's been a while. We haven't included her in this latest update, but she's very, very much aware of it. And you know, she's, gosh, for probably the last 3+ years, Josh, we've worked with her on this.
Yeah, she has access to the platform.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you all are working through certain elements, correct?
Yeah, they are. I just don't know much about it, so that's why I asked. So thank you. Yeah, I remember in the beginning when we were first starting this a couple of years ago, getting her involved in it. So just wanted to make sure that was continuing.
Yeah, for sure. And Jay, this kind of goes for everybody here and beyond. But if anybody wants to like walk through Safety Explorer and kind of have a little guided tour, I'm always happy to walk through with you if you're wanting to look at some of the things you can do and maybe give you an idea or help flesh out ideas as far as like what you can do with it or how you could go about it. Just give me a ring. I'm always happy to help out, and we could spend some time just kind of going through it together. I'd volunteer your time, Josh, but
Yeah, no, I'm for sure. Yeah, I'm always open to talk about this and get input on it. We're now being able to turn some of Peter and Bryce's development time and make some of these improvements that we've been kind of hearing about from users of the site. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, providing an update on upcoming HSIP call for projects. I don't have anything officially. And Jay, feel free to chime in on this one too. My understanding is unofficially, we're looking towards more of an end of the year, beginning of the calendar year 2022 for a potential call. But nothing is imminent. But I think they're working through some things, and Kerry and his team are trying to put the finishing touches on it. But I think they have a good idea what direction they want to go and how they're going to do it, what the amounts are, et cetera. But my understanding is that the announcement's not coming tomorrow or next week, but it should be coming in the next few months.
Gabe, would it be reasonable to assume it's probably going to be similar to last time, same criteria, same thresholds, kind of the overall same, or would that be stepping out on a limb too far?
I think that's part of what Kerry was trying to work out.
Okay.
Because there was some discussion about moving towards predictive analysis to help prioritize projects around the state.
Okay.
I don't think they're there yet. So I think it's reasonable that we are going to be proceeding with similar metrics and as we've done before. That being said, don't count any chickens.
Yeah, I was going to say until we get further along, it was just kind of more of a, if you had any indication which way the wind's blowing on that, but no, we'll let it go for now. Okay.
JD, do you have any info, any additional info besides what I just provided?
I know the same thing you do, so.
Okay.
Well done, my friend.
And we're looking at what, fiscal 27, 26? What is the call gonna cover? Do we know?
Is it 25, 26? I think.
Pretty sure, I'm thinking it would be, 25, 26 or 26, 27. Yeah.
Okay. Plan ahead. Thanks.
Plan ahead and then some.
Yeah.
So that should do it for my updates on safety activities. Anybody has any questions?
Any questions on any of those variety of safety topics that were covered on that? Okay.
Great.
Hearing none. Fantastic. Thanks so much, guys.
Yep.
Next item we've got is kind of a standing item. We've expanded for communications by the various jurisdictions. So let's see. Francisco, I'll let you go first. What have you got going on in the communications world on your end?
It's pretty quiet right now. We still have the same setup we had before. We're working through the federal funding approvals by ADA to do away with the WiMAX network. And so we're still working to get ADA approval and start that project federally funded.
If I can, let me ask you a couple specifics then. You're still doing fiber install outside of the project, and we'll talk about that. That was part of the call for project proposal efforts in the next agenda item. But are you doing anything else above and beyond that, or just taking advantage of project opportunities when they come?
At this point, the only funding is what we got from the feds that's coming, and but we are still taking any project that's opening the ground and putting conduit and fiber in it.
Okay. Okay. Michelle, how about you at the county?
Not much changing on our end. We are still connected through the wireless modems. Well, the cellular modems.
And that's been working okay for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cheryl, how about you from Oro Valley?
Nothing really new here, just looking at different options still.
Okay. Okay, and Dion, did you, I'm hoping you were able to, is that you, Dion, through phone?
That's me on the phone.
Perfect. Okay, good.
We are working through issues with our IT department for our MaxView system, which we purchased back in July. And as typical, working with IT departments is slow and fraught with issues. So while we have the MaxView set up, its full functionality is not available to us at this time. So hopefully that'll get worked out. And also we are making an effort to call for conduit on some of our new projects that are being designed, both by developers and also through our CIP program. And that's pretty much all I have to report.
Okay. Are you just doing the conduit, or are you going to have them try to install the fiber as well, or the fiber would come at a later date and time?
Fiber would come at a later date or time. I'm asking for conduit.
Got it. Thank you for that clarification. And that's capital and developer jobs, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And then last, Paul. What do you got going on, Sarita?
I'm in the same boat as everybody else. There hasn't been any change. I do have those two intersections with communications through MyoVision, and the comm there is obviously very limited. But aside from that, I'm kind of just in a standby mode.
Got it. Okay, any questions for any of the 5 team members from the jurisdictions, or anything else you guys want to add on for that particular aspect?
Rick, this is Paul. I think while I don't really have a good sense of it just yet, I want to make sure that everybody is considering what may become available as part of infrastructure bill. We know that there is likely to be some increases in funding, and it appears that there could be opportunities for communications types of projects. So I think it would be wise for us to start poking around in there as that becomes a reality, to see if there's opportunities to band together or set any of the jurisdictions off on their own to go after funding for improvements.
Got it. Good call. Any other thoughts, comments, or questions?
Hey, Rick, this is Jay.
Go for it.
So I guess it's more of an FYI for the group. ADOT TSMO division has embarked on a ITS master plan, I guess, study, if you will. We brought on board WSP and Kimberly and Horn to put together this master plan. And so we just kicked it off over this past month.
And Jake, what was it for?
ITS master plan.
Sorry, thank you. Okay, ITS master plan. Got it.
So yeah, we'll probably be going through this for probably the next year, identifying all the projects we want to do statewide, kind of get the vision going on, where all of our DMS boards are going to go, RWIS devices, any kind of upcoming technologies where we can deploy them. That last 1,000-foot connection, if you will, between the fiber trunk lines and the traffic signals and any other, ITS features that we want to get plugged in. As an example, I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's a big broadband push. So we're going to be having projects developing along I-17 from Phoenix to Prescott, along I-10, trying to finish up between Picacho and Tucson, and then also I-19 from Tucson to Nogales. I'm sure there'll be more of those types projects in the future, you know, basically going, say, like Tucson to Benson, and things of that nature. I know there's a big push with the private utility companies trying to push their conduits statewide as well. So, like I said, just kind of an update on what's going on in my world.
Hey, Jay, on top of that, is it with you now actually starting that, kicking that off, do you want me to add you to this section for a regular standard update, or do you prefer to kind of do it catch can as this topic comes along, and depending on the meeting, if you've got, you know, you want to inject it? What's your preference?
I'm always open to speak about what's going on. So yeah, if you want to put me on there, you can.
Okay.
And, you know, I know you guys are all really in tune with what's going on in the region. And if there's anything that I can do to try to push forward anything that we have here on the state system, please give me a ring.
Good deal, and thanks. Any other questions, thoughts, comments, or updates? Okay, hearing none, I'll move on to the last item. This is an update. You guys remember from our August push, we had done a couple meetings to deal with the reallocation of the RTA funds. They were actually federal in category. So wanted to give you an update on kind of where we stand and what we've got going to date. So following our meetings in August, the board did approve the suballocation recommendation as is. So there was no discussion, no changes, no tweaks. And they did that at their September 23rd meeting. So I immediately ran with that and then plugged in with the jurisdictions to then get the MOUs underway on that effort. So we've got MOUs that are out with Sahuarita, Marana, and Tucson. And then Jay will work with you when the time comes for your portion on that as well. So I believe those are actually out and being scheduled for various mayor and council meetings as we speak, which is fantastic. Thank you guys all so very much, especially a note of patience and appreciation of patience, because there were more glitches in it than I expected, and that's on me, but I appreciate you guys helping me find those, clean those up, and get those in good shape. So I think those balls are all in motion. Parallel with that, we also had an initial meeting with ADOT through the local group down here, as well as LPA section, to kind of get a better idea of what's going to be coming down the pipeline. How can we expect to process these? What are going to be some of the key steps? The good news is ADOT LPA, after our initial conversation where we kind of broached it with them, they went back, they did a little looking, they've done a little investigation after the information we provided. I think they're going to, they've got a protocol that's better geared towards materials purchases as opposed to capital type projects. That's going to benefit a couple folks. And along those lines, they also kind of reevaluated the upfront commitments on the dollars for the processing and all that. So we've got revised numbers on that. Once the MOUs are back, and then we'll go through and I'll work with the team here on this end. We'll get all the necessary stuff done to get the tip IDs activated and get that ball in motion. We will schedule follow-up meetings with ADOT to then go into the specifics about what's going to be required. What's DTM going to need to do since their CA status? What are Sahuarita and Marana going to need to do? And then obviously, Jay, with your efforts, what we're going to need to do. So that will be forthcoming. That's going to be a little ways down the line because it has to happen in sequence. And I want to make sure that we've got the tip IDs set up, established, ready, so that ADOT's ready to receive those requests, setups, and all that activity and effort. So that's kind of what's coming down the pipeline on that. Seems to be going in good shape. And right now, you know, we've got the engagement we're looking for. It's several steps that got to be taken, but right now the balls are all in motion. So thank you guys all for your patience, but thanks for your help on your ends. I know that's kind of short and sweet of a lot of activity that's been done between ourselves, the various jurisdictions, but at this time I can entertain any questions or clarify anything.
Jay, can you keep Oro Valley in the loop on some of those communications, the MOUs and the ADOT protocol for the material purchases, that kind of stuff? We'd like to have that information also. We don't want to be left out.
Oro Valley in loop. Cheryl, do you want me to go as far as inviting you to sit in and just listen into the meetings discussion so you'd get to hear all that firsthand?
That'd be great.
Okay, keep Cheryl in loop in conversation.
Yeah, hey Rick, this is Jay. And I guess just for your information, if you don't already know, I know MAG went through this exercise recently as well with Mark. And so I don't know if those experiences are being shared during those meetings. Heard it was quite the adventure. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this pans all out.
Yep. I know you weren't able to make the last one. I think there's probably, and so I'll make 100% sure you're at the next one, because since we were dealing mostly with the LPA section, I think some of the folks were a little unsure on how you were going to run the project as an actual ADOT driven effort. So we didn't go into the weeds by any stretch. It was really a high clip. Hey, start talking just a few of the basics so we'd know some steps and could get a mental time frame idea. But I'll make sure you're there at the next one, because that's going to be a slightly different wrinkle on that. I think they were okay with you running it out of your shop rather than running it out of the pre-design section or out of Phoenix. Is that how you've been thinking all along on this, or have you thought that far ahead?
Yeah, I talked to Mark about it a little bit, and basically I just got to take our procurement contract and make sure that they write it so that I can use federal funding on it.
Okay.
So yeah, I gotta work through Mark on that one and procurement. So yeah, that should be quite the adventure.
I was going to say it was easier than what we were talking about. And I think folks were landing that, oh, Jay might be able to do a lot of this on his own, which is good. If we land there, then I felt 1,000 times better. I didn't want to try to turn this into a Phoenix driven project when it's really an operational effort in your court. So, okay. And Cheryl, we'll keep you in the mix. I'll include you in that. And then that way you'll get to hear directly all the dialogue, the conversation, and how that all goes.
Thank you.
You got it. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, any other thing you're wondering about? Okay. Well, we did get a short and sweet one. I guess this wasn't overly complicated on that. So I'm giving you some time back on a Thursday. Are there any closing thoughts, comments? As always, you can always email me, Gabe, and Dr. Nassi, Paul C, with anything you've got, anything you want to have at future discussions. By all means, we're always available. Bring it up, throw it on the table. But I'll do one last around the horn. And along those lines, if everybody can pencil in for the time being, our next meeting would be targeted for Thursday, December 9th. That kind of keeps us back on our track of every other month. And that seems to be working for folks. Okay, last call. Anything else from the group? Okay, hearing none. Thank you guys all very, very much for a great meeting. Thanks for good updates on everything. Be safe, be well, take care, and we'll be talking to you guys soon.
Thanks. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks.